Alright, welcome back. This is Cult of Elections, and today we're going to be going over the 2024 election night map scenario that has Pete Buttigieg and Kristi Noem being the nominees for their respective parties. And I've had a video on Kristi Noem as I fill out some safe seats here. I've had a video on Kristi Noem before, and I kind of looked at this as judgment as what I should do with this map. And honestly, in that one, I kind of overshot Georgia a little bit. I definitely think it would have gone to her in that matchup. It was AOC versus Noem. And in that video, I tried to do one where it was more likely for, AOC to do a good job because I wanted a good example of that. However, there's not many examples of that. I'm going to put Montana and Alaska in the safe category as well. And I say that because, she may have the reach here. Kristi Noem might. So, yeah, I'm always forgetting Idaho. But, yeah, Buttigieg being a more centrist candidate than AOC, he would definitely do a better job. Most definitely. So, yeah, I think for that reason, Colorado and Virginia would move over to the safe categories. They were very close in 2020, and I think, 4 more years of being pushed farther to the left. And then another centrist candidate in there, definitely be enough to push those over the edge. However, I think New Mexico would be in the likely category. But yeah, that should be... Oh, sorry. I was going to say that should be it for likely states, but I completely forgot about Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Maine at large. They were likely states in the 2020 election and having a similar matchup, except someone who's even more farther right than Trump. And on top of that, wouldn't get as much excitement as him. I don't think that would work out too well for Republicans here. So yeah, those remain in the likely column. Videos with Noem in them are more so to show that she's not an amazing candidate and probably isn't the best choice for Republicans here based on her ideologies. But I put South Carolina in the likely column because, I can't see that drastic of a shift happening there. I'm going to jump over to Nebraska's second and Maine's second. I think they're both lean Democrat here. They're both not afraid to vote for Democrats, which they've both done very recently, so I can't really see the way that they don't. Maybe Maine's second district votes for no, but that's what I'm putting in the lean column. It really could go either way. I'm going to delegate 2 states. First, starting with Texas. I've said numerous times I think Texas is a state where it has at least one more run at it going Republican. And Noem is no exception to that. So, yeah. Iowa, I think, is also lean for Republicans here. I think Noem may have some outreach to more rural Maine voters. South Dakota being a bordering state to that, of course. So I'm going to jump over to Arizona and Nevada. I think they're both lean Democrat. Nevada being, of course, rock solid. It does have a lot of rural vote there, which I think would keep it in the lean category. Arizona has been trending blue, and having a more centrist candidate would definitely keep that trend going. Let's jump over to the Rust Belt. I usually say that for last, but I'm going to put Michigan in the likely category. It wasn't too far off from being likely in the 2020 race, but having a matchup like this could definitely push it back to that. But I think Wisconsin and Pennsylvania remain in the lean column, giving Pete Buttigieg the victory. Now, this may look like a very biased map, but really, I have videos where Republicans win and Democrats win. I'm just trying to show certain things like, I don't think Noem is a good candidate for Republicans to put up, like I don't think AOC is a good candidate for Democrats to put up. And like I said in that AOC Noem video, I had Georgia going to AOC in that video. If I could make that video again, which I may at some point, I don't think it would go that way. I would have put Georgia in the red column in some way, but I definitely think that in this scenario it would go blue, considering the way it's shifted as well. Buttigieg, of course, a more centrist candidate that's probably a lot more likable than Biden. And there may be some people afraid to vote for him because he's gay, especially in Georgia, which I've argued before in other predictions. However, I think Noem would kind of offset that, being the kind of candidate that she is and the platform that she runs. It wouldn't resonate with the country as a whole. And, okay, I'm going to go ahead and delegate North Carolina. North Carolina would be similar to a lot of these states, but I think it would be lean. Probably 1 to 2 points for Buttigieg here. If we're going to have the map be blue, it might as well include North Carolina, really. Makes enough sense. But yeah, that leaves 2 interesting states here. I normally leave off with the Rust Belt, but I think in this prediction, leaving off with these states would be more interesting. So, Florida, I've said a couple times it's going more lean Republican. However, bring in a more centrist candidate and bring in someone who I consider to be not a good nominee for her party, at least in the country as a whole. Of course, South Dakota, she's perfect. Yeah, that's the exact kind of nominee they want for governor. But yes, okay. Florida, I think, goes tilt blue. They have made a lot of inroads with Cuban Americans down in Florida. Republicans have. However, Buttigieg plus 4 years of moving farther to the left, plus Noem not being a great candidate to resonate with a lot of Americans, would push this over the top, but just slightly. And I've left Ohio, which has not been an interesting state in any of my predictions. And Ohio actually voted for Trump by about 8 points. And we've seen the drastic shift in Ohio before. We've seen it in 2016. And I think in this election, I don't do this very often, but I'm putting Ohio in the tilt blue column as well. So there you have it. This could be one of the ugliest matchups in terms of electoral college maps. But yeah, I definitely think Democrats should go for a more centrist candidate at least one more time around. Because if they go progressive, it's going to be very difficult for them to win. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think Noem would do better? I could see that argument. Leave it down in the comments below. But other than that, there you have it. 367 for Buttigieg, 171 for Noem. Of course, check out my other videos because, like I said, I have Democrats winning, I have Republicans winning. I'm not trying to push any sort of message because I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm here to tell people what I honestly think and how elections could go. Because if you go into it with a more open mind rather than your own personal beliefs and what you want to hear, then elections are going to disappoint you a lot. A lot of Republicans thought Trump was going to win. He did not. A lot of Democrats thought that Joe Biden was going to absolutely, massively destroy Trump in the Electoral College. Vote-wise, like Electoral College vote-wise, he sort of did. But when it came down to the actual votes, it was a lot closer. Out of 3 states. And Trump very easily could have won the election. But yeah, other than that, be sure to like the video. Leave a comment down below. What's your opinion? Do you think Noem would do better? Is this map crazy? But yeah, subscribe for more daily content.